Before the days of trees, fairy lights and tinsel, there were the Christmas customs and traditions of the people, the ones who put the folk in folklore.
They winged their flight aloft, then swooping low, perched upon the double tree that bears the golden bough. That's an extract from a 2,000-year-old tale, where the hero is led to a clearing by the birds of Aphrodite to the living mistletoe plant that is described as the golden bough. The hero takes the mistletoe as a gift for safe passage through the underworld. And we can look to the symbolism of the mistletoe in this tale to guide us why mistletoe is treated differently from the evergreens in the folk customs of the Yuletide celebrations.
In Shropshire, the evergreens were brought in, but not until the house had been cleaned. A good maid would find a coin in her shoe for a job well done. Then the clean, cheerful family kitchen must be adorned with holly and ivy. Sprigs of bright berried holly, alternating with the darker ivy, are stuck in the small leaded panes of the window casements, among the willow pattern plates and dishes on the dark oak dresser, and tall brass candlesticks, chainy ornaments, and crock dogs on the high mantel shelf. The holly and the ivy would not be taken down until Candlemas, and in some areas of the county, the holly would be burnt and the ivy would be fed to the milking cows. Mistletoe was added to the festive greenery, but not until New Year's Eve, when it was brought in and hung up, and there it would remain until the next year.
The mistletoe plant is dioecious, which means that it has both a male and female on different plants. Now, in the spring, the male plant flowers in great abundance with the intention of pollinating the female. Yet the unfortunate plant hasn't got any legs. So to get the pollen from the male flower to the flowers of the female, they rely heavily upon fruit flies.
Both male and female plants tantalise the fly by making their flowers smell of rotting fruit. The fly, then with its feet covered with pollen, moves from the male's diamond-shaped triflorium and will travel to the other plants, and thus the flowers are pollinated.
A correspondent whose family traditions come partly from South Shropshire and partly from Montgomeryshire tells me that he and his wife have never been without a piece of mistletoe in the house since they have been married.
I have always lived in a house with mistletoe all year round. On my mother's side of the family, they have always maintained the tradition of bringing in the mistletoe for the Christmas season and leaving it up all year and replacing it next Christmas. Our tradition is we harvest the male and the female plants separately. And after we have taken down last year's on the winter solstice and burnt it, we bring in the new, the male through the back door, female through the front, join them together, and then hang them in the stairwell. And it will be there for the next 12 months.
Kissing bush, a bunch of evergreens or mistletoe garnished with ribbons and fruit, which is hung in the kitchen or hall at Christmastide.
Yeah, the kissing bush. 2 loops of holly and ivy, garnished with ribbons and hung with sweets and little gifts for people. Inside we have a nice shiny orange and a shiny moon and apples. And at the bottom, the sprig of mistletoe. Traditionally hung at the bottom if you can get hold of a sprig of mistletoe. If you can't, and the mistletoe isn't there, the whole of the kissing bush is known as the mistletoe, for the purpose of kissing when you meet and greet your guests for the New Year's Eve party ahead.
At this time of year, the winter solstice, the flesh of the berry has become translucent to allow the sunlight to get to the embryonic seed inside, where it begins to photosynthesize. At the time where all else seems to slumber. A promise of the returning light that gives strength to the potential of new life and growth. And as in the gift to Proserpine, an emblem of the summer sun, offering us healing and protection to help us through the darkness of winter.